bin Abi
Huzur says Hadhrat Umair bin Abi
Madri
Waqas,
Sahabi the.
he was a companion who participated in Badr. Abu Waqas was the father. He was martyred in Ghazwa Badr in 2 years of Hijrah. He was younger brother of Saad bin Abi Waqas, and he was from the early Ahmadis. The name of the mother was Amna bin Sultan. He related to the Quraysh tribe of Zohra. And as it is mentioned, he participated in Badr and embraced martyrdom. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Umair and Amr bin Muaz, between them they established the brotherhood, the Holy Prophet ﷺ. In some people's opinion that Hadhrat Umair bin Waqas and Hadhrat Khubayb bin Ali, the brotherhood was established by the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The incident of his martyrdom and participation in Badr, regarding that in Sirat Khatam al-Nabiyyin, Hadhrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib has written that he went out of Medina for some distance, and then the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he asked everybody to get settled, and he had the assessment of the whole people, and there were some young children who also accompanied. They were asked to go back. Saad bin Waqas, the younger brother of him, Umair, he was also very young in age. When he heard about the return of the small children, then he got himself hid here and there so that his turn should come at the end. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ asked him to go back. By listening to this command, he started crying and weeping. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ, looking at his passion and feeling, the Holy Prophet ﷺ permitted him to participate in Badr. There is another book in history. It is mentioned like this, that Amr bin Saad, he relates from his father that before the Holy Prophet ﷺ would have examined the whole army before going for Badr, I saw my brother Umair bin Waqas that he was hiding behind the people. At that, I asked him that, "Oh my brother, what happened to you?" He said that, "I am afraid that the Holy Prophet ﷺ would see me and, considering me a young boy, would send me back. I want to go for the battle. That maybe that Allah Almighty enables me to embrace martyrdom." So when he was presented to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, so he, considering him as a young boy, asked him to go back, and he started weeping. At that, the Holy Prophet ﷺ permitted him to participate. His sword was very good, and in one narration, the Holy Prophet ﷺ prepared his sword with his own hand. Hadhrat Umair bin Abi Waqas, when he got murdered, that he was 16 years when he got martyred. In this age of 16 years is such, the height might have been low. He was not permitted to participate to other children. And the other companion, Utbah bin Amr, he was Ansar, from Ansar. He died during the period of Hadhrat Usman. The name of the mother was Zainab. Wife's name Umar. There was a daughter from her named Jamil. Bane Uqta, Akba, Ula and Sania, both the first two baths, he participated there, and he was among those Ansar companions who believed him in Mecca, and there was no one from Ansar who had accepted Islam by that time. And describing his incident, how he accepted Islam, in Sirat Khatmun Nabiyyin it is written that in the month of Rajab on 11th Hijrah, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, there was another encounter with the people, and he asked about the family history, and they came to know that they are from Khazraj and they have come from Yasrib. The Holy Prophet ﷺ very kindly said that, can you listen to some of what I have to say? They said, yes. What did you say? The Holy Prophet ﷺ sat with them and invited them to Islam, and also recited some verses of the Holy Quran and explained his mission. These people, they looked towards one another, and they thought that this is a moment that the Jewish people might go ahead of us. And by saying that, all of them, they accepted. There were 6 people. Their names were Abu Umama, Asad bin Zurara. He was from Najjar tribe, and he was the first to agree. Saus bin Haris, he was also from Banu Najjar. He was the grandfather of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, related to him. And Rafi bin Malik, who was from Banu Zuhaq. And all the Holy Quran that had been revealed by that time, that was presented by the Holy Prophet ﷺ to him. And Utbah was also there, Banu Salim. And Utbah bin Abir, he was from Banu Haram. And Jamir bin Abdullah, who was from Banu Ubaid. After that, these people, they took leave, and they promised that the mutual battle has weakened us very much, and we are very much have so many differences between us. So we will preach the message of Islam to our brothers in Yasrib, and no wonder that Allah Almighty, through the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Allah Almighty puts us together, and then we will be ready for this. And these people went back to Yasrib, and there was very talking about Islam spread there, and all these differences which they had among them, and they mentioned the possibility of all these differences to be eliminated with the help of Islam. And these people who were enemy to one another, they became like brother. And I mentioned previously that and this thing was very much unacceptable to the enemies, that they have become like brothers. So they tried to create divisions among them. But then with the advice of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his spiritual power, again the atmosphere of brotherhood was created there. Ashab-e Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, among the companions, Hadhrat Qutbah, he was a famous archer, and Ghazwa Badr and Khandak, he participated along with the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the Uhud. He fought very bravely, and he suffered 9 injuries. And the victory of Mecca, Banu Salma, their flag was in his hand, and his steadfastness, one example of that between the 2 rows he put the stone, that he said, I will not run away unless this stone starts running away. And he put the condition that unless I die, I will not be leaving the battlefield at all. His brother was Yazid bin Amir. He was along with 70 companion. He participated in Aqba and participated in Badr as well. And his progeny was in Baghdad and Medina. Abu Hatim relates that Hadhrat Utbah bin Amr, during the period of Hadhrat Umar, he passed away. When according to Ibn Habban, he died during the period of Hadhrat Usman. The third companion which I am going to mention is Hadhrat Shuja. He was from Wahab, son of Wahab bin Rabi'a. He died in Battle of Yamama. He is also known as Shuja bin Wahab. His tribe was in agreement with Banu Shams, and he was very tall in stature and very slim and with very thick hairs. And he is counted among those senior companions who accepted Islam in early period. He responded to the call of the Holy Prophet, and 6 years after the Advent, at the instruction of the Holy Prophet, he in the second group of Muhajirin when going to Habsha, and sometime later listening to this point that the Ahle people has accepted Islam, he came back to Mecca. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, after a while, he permitted them to migrate to Medina. So he also, along with his brother Utbah, he left Mecca and came to Medina. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Aus and Hadhrat Shuja was made two religious brothers, and the muakhad that was established. He was made, Shuja was, and in Ghazwa, Uhud, Bandar and Khandak he participated along with the Holy Prophet. And 40 years, at the age of more than 40, in the Battle of Yamama, he passed away. After coming back from Ghazwa Hudaybiyah, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he wrote a letter to all the kings and the rulers of that time. Abdurrahman relates, Razillah Ta'ala anhu, he was a companion, that the Holy Prophet ﷺ, one day, he delivered a khutbah at the pulpit, and after that he said that I am going to send some of you to the rulers of the non-Arabs, the kings. You do not differ with me as the children of Israel they did with Hadhrat Isa. And the companion said that, O Prophet of Allah, we will never going to differ with you. Please send us. So those companions who were given the task and the honor of doing that, Hadhrat Shuja bin Wahab was also one of them. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Shuja was Haris bin Shimr Ghassani, who was near the Damascus. He was a leader of a group, and his name is Munzar bin Hazar was the name later on mentioned. And he sent a letter. The opening sentences were Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim min Muhammadin Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ilal Harisil Abi Shimr salamun ala man ittabal huda wa amana billahi wa saddaqa fa inni aduka ila an tu'mina billahi wahdahu la sharika lahu yabqa laka mulkuka. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from him Haris bin Shimr, the message of peace is there, and all those who follow the guidance, believe in Allah and endorses the message. So I do ask you to believe in that God who is one and there is no partner with him, and only in that case your state, your rule will continue. Hadhrat Shuja say that I took this message and letter and when there finally I reached his door, and 2-3 days spent, but I could not have access to his throne, to his court. And the one who was in charge, finally I told him that I am representative of the Holy Prophet, and I am come as a representative and messenger. I have come. He said that this Rais, this chief, he would come out only on that day. Before that you can't see him at all. And then this person on duty, the guard. Then the same person, then he started asking me about the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his message. He started questioning questions from me. I told him the details, and which impressed him very much. And he started crying. And the guard, the in charge of the security of the governor or the ruler of that area, this his condition. Then he said that I read in Injil that these are going to be the situation of the prophet, but he thought that perhaps that prophet will come in Syria. But now I come to know that he has come. He has already made his advent in Yemen. But anyway, I believe in him. He said, the security in charge said that I believe in him, and I endorse him, his claim. I am afraid of Haris bin Shimr, that he might kill me. And he also mentioned that the Rais of the ruler of the area, he might kill me. And after that, this guard showed great respect to me, and he looked after my hospitality and also informed me about Haris. And he was mentioning disappointment about that. He said Hashir is afraid of the Qasr, because it was his rule, under his rule. And one day Haris came out and he sat in his court. There was a crown on his head, and then I presented the letter from the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He read the letter and then he threw it away, and he became very angry, and he said, who is there who can snatch my kingdom from me? I am going to go towards him, and I will go there to punish them. And he commanded the army to get ready so that we can go and attack, and that I will attack upon him. And the letter which he has written and the threat that he has given that if you don't desist, then your kingdom will go away. So after that, anyway, Haris bin Shimr, during the night, he stayed there till the night, and people came on by, and then he asked his horsemen to get ready. And after that, Qasr Shahi Rum, the king of Rum, he wrote the incident of this letter, and he sent one, and then also sent this companion that this is the representative who has been sent. Hasir bin Shimr, when this letter reached Qasr, when the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Dihya Kalbi, there was another letter which had already reached the Holy Prophet. So Qasr, when he read the letter, he said that throw away the thought of attacking this person. When this reply came to Haris, so then Hadhrat Shuja, who was staying there, he asked him, called in him, that when do you want to go back? Hadhrat Shuja said that he gave 100 miskal of gold, a mayer of gold, and the same security in charge, he came to in his presence, and he also gave him some money and some dress, and he said that the security in charge said that you go to the presence of the Holy Prophet and convey my salam, and told him that I have become a follower of your religion. Shuja says that after that, that when I reached the Holy Prophet ﷺ, so then I told him everything about the ruler, and after listening to that, he said he will be destroyed. And then the Holy Prophet ﷺ told him about the security officer and conveyed his salam, and whatever he said, I told everything to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He said he is true, he has spoken the truth. So this is in Sirat-e-Halbiya, the whole account is mentioned. Sahibzada Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib, picked up these things from the books, and he has picked up these things and the other things which he mentioned there. He said the fifth Tabligh letter, the fifth letter that was sent to Ghassan, the ruler Haris bin Shimr, it was written, and Ghassan's state was very towards the south. Towards the south, this state was there. When Hadhrat Shuja bin Wahab arrived there with the message, at that time the Haris was preparing for the celebration of the victory of Kaisar, and for that mission he was preparing at that time. And before meeting Haris, he met the in charge of the meeting. He was a good person. From Shuja, he heard about the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he supported that, agreed with that. Anyway, after waiting of a few days, this incident is mentioned that Shuja bin Wahab was able to have an access to the court of the ruler, and the letter was presented. Haris read the letter, and he became angry and threw it away. And not only mentioned his anger as it's mentioned, he also gave the command to get ready for the attack. And Kaisar, he said that don't go for attack, and you meet me in Elia in the Baitul Maqdis. And anyway, this matter ended there. Hadith and Tariq, they tell us that in Medina for a long time there was a fear that the Ghassani tribes, they might attack, the Muslims might attack in Medina. At what time they may do this, that was not known. And because of the reply which was given by some of them, in reply to that letter which was given to them by the companion, in Maher Rajab in 8th year of Hijrah, the Holy Prophet ﷺ came to know that Banu Hawazan, one branch of that, one branch is getting ready to attack. The Holy Prophet ﷺ asked Hadhrat Shuja that 24 warriors sent there, and they were sent to confront them and to defeat them. And at that time, Banu Amr people, they were at the distance of 5 nights, and between near Basra there was a place where they had pitched their tents. Hadhrat Shuja, along with the warriors, they used to travel during the day, and at night they would hide themselves. And finally they reached there, and when they saw the Muslims very close, and they were very much surprised, and they were fully ready for that. And all these people, they ran away. And Shuja asked his warriors that don't chase them. There is no need to chase these people. And all the spoils of war, according to the custom of the time, whatever they have left behind, the sheep and the camels, they brought back to Medina. And the magnitude of this spoil of war can be guessed that everybody got 15 camels, and there were some other things as well. So it means that these people who came with full preparation, and all that became the spoil of war. Hadhrat Shamas bin Usman, Shamas. In one of the khutbah, briefly I have mentioned, Usman was his father, and in Ghazwa Badr, in 3 year of Hijrah, and Shamas, he was the name with which he was famous. We were Banu Makhzum, and in the beginning of Islam he became Muslim. Ibn Hasham, Hadhrat Shaman bin Usman, and the reason he has mentioned is Shamas Raziyallahu Ta'ala, his name was Usman, and Shamas, he is called by this name because there is a religious leader of Christian. He is known as Shamas. So in the period of ignorance he came to Mecca, and that leader was very beautiful, and looking at his beauty, people in Mecca, they were surprised. And Utbah bin Rabi'a, who was the uncle of Shamas, And he said that I can show you another beautiful young, more beautiful than Shamaz. And at that time he showed Usman, and since that time he is known as Shamaz bin Usman. One reason of this name is also mentioned, that his name was because his face was very white and bright, and that is like a sun. That is the name Shamaz is given to him. And he and his mother, Hadhrat Safiya bint Rabi'a bin Abd Shams, the second migration to Habsha, it was there, and he was this lady was Hadhrat Usman bin Shammas. At the return of Mecca, Hadhrat Shammas bin Usman, after migration to Medina, Hadhrat Mubashir bin Abu Munzar, he stayed with him. Sayyid bin Musayyab says that Hadhrat Shammas bin Usman, when he embraced martyrdom in Uhud, then he stayed with this companion, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Shammas bin Usman and Hadhrat Hanzala bin Bani Amir. He established the brotherhood between these two companions. The son of Shammas was Abdullah, and the wife was Habib bint Sayyid, and she was among the ladies who migrated in earlier time. And Shammas participated in Badr and Uhud as well. He fought very bravely in Uhud, and he said, I found this Shammas bin Usman as a shield for me, and wherever he went, here and there, always he would see him, who was protecting the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So until the time that the Holy Prophet ﷺ was attacked, then he became unconscious. Hadhrat Shammas, he made himself the shield in front of them. So and he got injured, and he embraced martyrdom. He was still he was taken to Hadhrat Aisha, and he asked that, are you going to take my cousin to somebody else? Hadhrat Salma, he said, take him to her, and he died in her house. And then with the instruction of Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was taken to Uhud, and he was buried in the same clothes when he was brought injured state, and he stayed there. He lived for one night, and he did not take anything, and it was a state of extreme weakness. He was unconscious. Hadhrat Shammas, he died at the age of 34. Abu Aqs bin Jabr. His father was Jabr bin Amr. He died in 34 when his age was 70. Abdur Rahman was the real name, and he was related to the tribe Abu Harsa. In the period of ignorance, his name was Abu Uzza. The Holy Prophet ﷺ changed their name and made it Abdur Rahman. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Uzza was the name of the idols, and the name was changed to Abdur Rahman. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, along with him, he Ghazwa Badr, and he participated in all other expeditions. And Ka'b bin Ashraf, those people who killed Ka'b bin Ashraf, he was one of them. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, Hadhrat Abu Abbas and Umas, and the establishment of brotherhood was there. In 34th Hijrah, he passed away, and in Mecca there was large progeny. He had Hadhrat Usman led the janaza, and he was buried in Jannatul Baqi. Hadhrat Abu Abs bin Jabr, it is mentioned that before Islam he was able to write Arabic, although the writing was not so common in Arabs. And Abu Burda and Abu Abbas, when they accepted Islam, they broke the idols. And Hadhrat Umar and Usman, they So they used to send to get the charity from the people. So he was looking after the finance at that time. Hadhrat Abu Abbas, he lost his eyesight. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he gave him that this rod, and that rod was giving the light always in front of him. And he mentioned that just like a blind person, just they use the stick, so that will be of a great help. And there was a light, and also the light will come out and you will be able to see. Sometime during the night there was a light, because some other companions, they also, the narration is there that sometime they were traveling in dark, and sometime from their sticks there was a light coming out. There is also a narration that Hadhrat Massih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, some of the companions, they were traveling, the night was very pitch dark, and they also, Allah Almighty showed them this miracle that there was a light coming in front of them. Abu Abbas, his son, narrates this thing, that he used to offer the prayer behind the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and then you used to go to Banu Harsa, his tribe. And once when the night was dark, rain was there, so when he was going by, there was a light coming from his rod, and which made the path clear for him. Hadhrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu, during his sickness, he came to inquire about his health. He was unconscious. When he recovered, Hadhrat Usman said that, how do you find your condition? He said that we see our condition very good, except this is one string which we lost during some of the battle. And as I said, that he was responsible for collecting the charity and contribution. He was looking after the finance. So this was the standard of his honesty, that one small string which was misplaced and it was lost. So he was very much worried, and he was very much disturbed until the end of his life. And he was thinking that this lost piece of string could not become a source of trouble for us. So these were the people who have the fear of Allah Almighty in their hearts, and they were high standards of honesty in their life. Hadhrat Anas relates that more than the Holy Prophet ﷺ, there was no one who would offer the prayer earlier than others. So that means as soon as the time started, he used to offer. There were two members from Ansar whose house was very far away. One was Abu Lubaba bin Abdul Munzir, and he was and the second was Abu Abbas. He was from Banu Harsa. Their houses were far away from the mosque, and one was in Quba, and both these houses were far away, 2.5 miles. And these people used to offer the prayer with their people, and when they used to go back to their people, then by that time the time of Asr was there. So this was the style of a very brisk walk of these people, that they used to travel long distance, and they used to come to offer the prayer behind the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Hadhrat Abdullah bin Abbas narrates that the Holy Prophet said that the one who took his steps and his feet became dusty in the way of Allah Almighty will make the fire of hell completely away from him. And those who are walking in the way of Allah and putting them into hardship, and those people who travel for Dawat Allah, for preaching, and those people who come to the mosque for the prayer from a long distance, all these people, they are among that category. Allah Almighty says that Allah Almighty will forbid the fire of hell upon these people, stop the fire. And Abu Aqil bin Abdullah, Abdullah bin Salba was the father. He died in 12 Hijra during the expedition of Yamama. His name was Abdul Rahman bin Arasi, The old name was Abdul Uzza, and after accepting Islam, the Holy Prophet ﷺ changed his name and gave him the name of Abdur Rahman. He was related to tribe Banu Umayyah, and he was from Ansar. Dajaba bin Ulfa, he was in agreement with that. His title was Abu Akil, and he's famous with that name. And he participated in all the expeditions along with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. In Jang-e Yamama, the Battle of Yamama, during the 12th Hijrah, he passed away. His incident of accepting of Islam is like this, that the Holy Prophet ﷺ migrated from Mecca, and when he came to Medina, the one day young man, he came to the Holy Prophet, and with the acceptance of Islam, he had the honor of doing the initiation, and he expresses his complete hate against the idols. And he asked, "What is your name?" Abu Uzza. And Huzur said that, "No, from today your name is Abdur Rahman." He immediately accepted that, and he told all the people that now I'm not Abdul Uzza, but rather my name is Abdur Rahman. And there was another friend, he is also known as Arashi. He was among those companions that when the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he used to say about the giving of sadaqah, so they used to work for the whole night, and whatever they got in the morning, that they would give as sadaqah. In Bukhari it is mentioned, Abu Masud says that when we were asked to give the sadaqah, the charity, then at that time we used to carry some luggage as a part of our job, and some payment was made to us, and somebody got the more payment, and some of the hypocrites said that Allah Almighty is not in need of this charity, and the other person who has given us charity, that is just for show off. And then the verse was revealed. And the translation of this verse is that these hypocrites, they criticize those people who give the charity more than other people, and they give this sadaqah before they can afford, and Allah Almighty will punish those people who are laughing at them, and very horrible punishment will be given to them. So these are the strange things. To get the pleasure of Allah Almighty, they used to work hard for that and get the pleasure of Allah. And accepting these good examples, Allah Almighty enabled the people who followed them to follow their way. In the detail of this incident, Allama Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani has mentioned in this way, said that Hadhrat Abu Akil, Sahibu Sa is also given the name given to him, and Abdur Rahman bin Auf, he brought half of his possessing, and somebody from Abu Akil came, and he moved forward, and then he said that I'm going to that 2 saw of the dates, and 1 saw I have kept myself, and 1 is for the charity, and half of that he gave, and the half I have left my hope. The hypocrite said that Allah and His Messenger saw this 1 mayer of dates which He has given. Allah Almighty does not need that. Allazina yalmizuna al-mutawwi'ina min al-mu'minina fi sadaqati wallazina la yutu illa juhdahum. That these are the hypocrites. They taunt those people who give as charity from the believers, and while they give the charity when they cannot afford much. There was a companion who made the last attack on Musalma Kazab, and he said on the day of Yamama, the very first was Abu Akil, who he got the arrow right in the chest, and he did not die there, but the arrow was taken away. But because of some other injuries, he became very weak, and that is in the early day. Then he was brought back to his tent, and the fight was very tense, and the Muslims got defeated at that time, and they got back to their residence, or even back to that. At that time, Abu Aqil was severely injured. He heard the voice of Usman bin Adi. He was calling Ansar to fight forcefully, that depend on Allah, and attack on the enemies once again. And Hazrat Usman was walking in front of them. So that is the time when Ansar were saying that we will separate the people from others. And one by one, Ansar were gathered in one side. And the purpose was that when the people is fight, and these are the people who would steadfastly fight against them. So in that case, the Muslims will get the satisfaction and support. And one narration is that Abu Aqil, he went to Ansar. He was injured at that time, very weak at that time, but he stood up there. I said, Aqil, what do you need? And you are not able to fight. But he said that the caller has called my name. He said he is asking Ansar and those people who are capable of fighting. But Abu Aqil said that he has asked Ansar and whether I am injured, but I am among Ansar. So at his call, I am definitely going to there, even if I have to crawl on my knees. And Ibn Umar says that Abu Aqil, he got ready and he took the sword in his right hand, and then he said that, O Ansar, you attacked just like Hunain as you did. Ansar gathered, and Allah Almighty have mercy on them. And then the Muslims advanced towards the enemy, and the enemies were forced to leave the battlefield. And Muslims, they attacked very furiously, and there was a fight between them. And Hazrat Ibn Umar says that I saw Abu Aqil, that his injured hand was falling down on the earth, and there was 14 wounds on his body, and every wound was very fatal. And Hazrat Abu Aqil, he was lying on the floor, on the earth, very injured, very weak. And I said, O Aqil, and he asked in stammering way, he said that have the glad tidings that Muslims have won. And I said loudly that Musalman Kazaba has been killed. He glorified Allah Almighty, and he raised his finger to Allah Almighty and had his last breath. Allah Almighty have mercy upon him. And after coming back to Medina, Hadhrat Umar was narrated the whole thing. Allah Almighty may have mercy upon him. He was begging for martyrdom all the time. As far as I know, he was the best companion of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he accepted Islam in very early period. Allah enable us to that Allah Almighty, those people who passed away after the namaz, I will lead a janaza prayer. The first one is Maulana Abdulaziz Sadiq Sahib of 26th of July. He passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. After the education of 4th class, for the further education, he came to Qadian, where in the company of the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was able to grow up. And after the completion, then they were asked, all the people were asked to go back to their countries. He went back to Bengal, but he was very keen to go back to the center. In very dangerous, from Calcutta to Delhi, he traveled, and there were sick people in the middle, that they found that how a young man is traveling without any fear in the train in those circumstances. But anyway, he was in Delhi, and then the Jamaat arranged a flight. Maghribi, the west and east Pakistan was one. So after the 6 years of Jamia, he had the education there. And after that, the Jamiatul Mubashirin 3 years course was completed, got the degree of Shahid. And after that, in Punjab University and Peshawar University, he got the degree of Maulvi Fazil from there. And after that, He in Pakistan, in Faisalabad and Samundri, he worked, and then East, and then in Bengal he also worked. Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Salis Rahimahullah Ta'ala, in the Bangla translation of the Holy Quran, he established a board. So Qazi Muhammad Nazir Sahib, on the recommendation of that, Maulana Abdul Aziz Sahib's name was added to that board, and Muzaffaruddin Bengali and some other people were working together. And for the purpose of translation, he stayed there for some time. And then he was transferred to Dhaka. Chaudhry Muzaffaruddin Sahib, when he passed away in 1989, he was sent to Dhaka for this. Maulvi Muhammad Sahib, when he passed away, then all alone he did the job. And in the year of the Jubilee, so by the grace of Allah, the Bangla translation was ready and published. And in the whole country, all parts of the, he has served in various places in Talim Tarbiyat and Tabligh. He did the work several times. He suffered beating at the hand of opponents. So he has this honor. And in 1992, the Bakhshi Bazar, when it was attacked, which was the center of the Jamaat, so all alone he fought. And as a result of that, his head and body was covered with injuries. He has left about the wife and 3 daughters and 2 daughters and so many grandchildren. And 3 daughters are in Bangladesh, 1 is in America, and Hamidullah is in UK, and he works in MTA. Allah Almighty elevate the status of the departed soul, and his children may be able to follow his good example. Muhammad Zafarullah Sahib Ibn Sayyid Bisharat Sayyid Wala Nankana Sahib, on 29th of August in Nankana Sahib, the robbers, they attacked his shop, and as a result of the firing, he got martyred. According to the detailed 6 robbers, thieves, they came, and having modern weapon, and they came on motorbikes, and the jewelry shop he was running, and he plundered the shop. And after that, then he came outside, and they opened up the fire, and a passerby was also injured. So when these people, after plundering, they went back, at that time they fired at Zafarullah Sahib, and he hit the 3 bullets. As a result, instantly he passed away. And there were other people on his shop, but they only hit and targeted Zafarullah Sahib. This is the, and he said that you target whomsoever. And he was very dedicated, very bold, and very hospitable, and a large number of non-Ahmadis, they came for condolence. He was extremely in love with Khilafat and responding to every call, regular in prayer, in congregation. He was Musi, and a very bold and courageous person. At that time, he was Secretary Talim and Sayyid Wala. Zafarullah Sahib was 30 only, and he recently got married. He had 1 son. He has 1 son, and he is only 1.5 years in the wife and the son and parents, and 1 brother and 5 sisters. Allah Almighty also exalt the status of the one who has passed away, and enable all the bereaved members of the bereaved family with patience, and also enable them to continue his good virtues.